31, Trev's Hockey Show. I'm the Trev. You know that. If you're tuning in, if you're watching, it's too sweet. Anyway, continuing on with the retired numbers for today. And today marks the last of the easy ones. And I'm not saying the easy ones as in a case of these ones are irrelevant or these ones don't have as much impact as any of the other retired numbers that I will be eventually talking about later. This one is the last of the ones that don't really belong to an NHL player. Granted, the Frank Finnegan video is definitely of a player, but this is the last one of non-players, essentially. Today we're talking about number 37 in Florida, belonging to Wayne Huizenga. So Wayne Huizenga is a man known as many things. A businessman, a philanthropist, an entrepreneur, rich, but most importantly, he's an owner, or was an owner, of a major sports team, and not just one major sports team, 3 major sports teams. We'll get into those, but first let's talk about how this man came to be rich. It's like all businessmen, you have to start somewhere, right? And Wayne Huizenga did just that. In 1962, he started the Southern Sanitation Service by borrowing some money from his dad and sweet-talking some rival trash haulers, which eventually created Waste Management, Inc., an entity that would eventually become a Fortune 500 company in the United States. In the early 80s, he'd grown Waste Management into one of the largest waste disposal companies in the country, in the United States, before leaving the company in 1984. After that, he repeated that process with video chains, buying smaller video stores, and by 1987 made a company that became to be known as Blockbuster Video. If you're old enough to remember what Blockbuster Video was, you get a thumbs up from me. By 1994, Blockbuster Video was the largest video chain globally, or at least North American wide anyway. It was big here in Canada, obviously big in the States, big enough for Huizenga to get his feet into sports. And he did the same thing with auto dealerships. And by 1996, he formed Auto Nation, which became the largest automotive dealer in the United States. So, again, businessmen start small, work their way up. But that's only the business end of it. Let's get down to the sports end of it. So by the 1990s, the Miami Dolphins, you know who the Miami Dolphins are, were running into some financial troubles. And along came Wayne Huizenga to save the day. And he bought 15% of the Miami Dolphins at the time, before turning that around and investing $115 million to be a full owner by 1994. So 1990, March 7th, 1990, he owns his first sports team. On June 10th, 1991, he's granted an expansion franchise by Major League Baseball to play in the National League in 1993 called the Florida Marlins. You might remember them. They're the Miami Marlins now, but in the beginning, they were the Florida Marlins. And wouldn't you know it, much like everything else Wayne Huizenga touched, within 4 years, they won the biggest trophy you can win in baseball, the World Series. So not bad. And then finally, on December 10th, 1992, who's with this guy in the number 10? He gets a baseball franchise on June 10th, gets a hockey franchise on December 10th. I'm getting off topic. December 10th, 1992, he's granted an expansion franchise in the NHL, which became known as the Florida Panthers. And within 3 years, you think he found success? Well, kind of. He almost did. It was only the best expansion franchise at the time, as far as the win-loss record in their first season, but within 3 years, they were in the Stanley Cup final. So, did he make a success? Yes, but he didn't win the Stanley Cup, so how successful was it? Well, probably more successful than any other franchise not named Vegas. But I'm getting off topic again. But he held on to that team till 2001 when he sold it to a group of investors. One more team, and he would have had his hand on every sports franchise in the Miami area. Of course, at the time, he was criticized for naming his two teams after the state and not the city. But his reasoning behind that was that the goal was to include Broward County and Palm Beach County into his fans base, which is good on him. I mean, why have a fan base in one area? We can have a fan base in the entire state, right? Right. Makes sense. But anyway, he saw the Panthers through the beginning, through to a championship run, well, an almost championship run, at least to the finals, before selling off the team. And 25 years after he was awarded a franchise, his number 37 was retired by the Florida Panthers. Now, the 37 was chosen by his family, not because he hadn't passed away by this time, but his family chose the number because it was his birth year, and it was his lucky number. And again, I would have thought 10 being synonymous with his two expansion franchises would have been a better choice, but I don't decide these things. The families do. But that's the story behind the number 37 in Florida, and this was essentially episode 31, the Trev's Hockey Show. I want to thank you for tuning in. Your viewership always means so much to me. Always has, always will, and don't forget that I do appreciate every time you guys do turn in. Like I said, it's me, right here. But feel free to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you want to, there's that subscribe button. Pretty sure it's in this corner. Smack that thing. You'll stay up to date with all the content I'm putting out on this channel. And it'd be awesome to help this channel get to 50 subs. If you want to, you can find Trev's Trade page on Facebook at Trev's Trade page. You can find the parent channel on Facebook at Trev's TV. You can find Trev on Instagram at Rockstar Trev TV. And there's 2 other channels that would love to get to 50 subs. You can find their pictures in the credits. Moving forward, like I said, this is the last of the easy retired numbers. Moving on out as far as the retired numbers is concerned, we're going actual players. And again, not to say that Frank Finnegan's doesn't count, because it does, but we're actually getting into storied NHL careers. And if you want a spoiler, the only spoiler I'm going to give you is it'll be a Maple Leafs video. That's it. That's all I'm telling you. You can figure out which one I'm going at with that. But either way, in the meantime, and in between time, be on the lookout for more videos from the Trev. Later.